Frequently and all too easily, the rights of people who are deaf get stripped away. Every day, deaf individuals attempts to interact with hearing authorities, emergency responders, or organizations are denied basic access to communication, and in some instances, their lives are put into jeopardy. Simple consideration, such as captioning, transcription, or sign language interpreting services, can help break through the language barrier to protect the rights of deaf Americans. The ADA is a set of laws which guarantee equal access, yet deaf people are refused these accommodations due to the ignorance that still exists this day. The Americans with Disabilities Act, also known as the ADA, is a federal law that provides protection to persons with disabilities and prevents discrimination against deaf people in employment, housing, and at places of public accommodations such as movie theaters, restaurants, schools, offices, public services such as transportation services like a bus or a train, and some telecommunications. The deaf community does not see their hearing impairment as a disability, but as a culture which includes a history of discrimination, racial prejudice, and segregation. According to an online transcript through Deaf Eyes and Florentine Films, Holt Productions Inc., there are 35 million Americans that are hard of hearing. Out of the 35 million, an estimated 300,000 people are completely deaf. There are 90% of deaf people who have some type of hearing impairments. Also, most deaf parents have hearing children. With this being the exemplification, deaf people communicate on a more intimate and significant level with hearing people all of their lives. Institutions should be prepared from the onset to cater to our diverse population. Organizations which refuse to provide equal access as required by the ADA not only earn themselves a bad reputation with the deaf community, they potentially open themselves up to a discrimination lawsuit. Employees who are hard of hearing or deaf are not immune to and may in fact be targeted for other forms of discrimination in the workplace, like retaliation or sometimes sexual harassment. The ADA protects workers from retaliation by their employer when they report an instance of alleged discrimination. So, for example, if you complain to your employer about harassment you've been receiving because you are deaf, and your employer in turn decides to fire you for complaining about your coworkers, you will have an additional retaliation claim against your employer that is not dependent on you proving you have a disability under the ADA. Similarity employees cannot be retaliated against for requesting a special accommodation under the ADA. A worrying 1 in 4 deaf people have been forced to quit their jobs because of discrimination in the workplace. According to a new survey from Total Jobs, this means that although developments in technology have made it easier to be deaf in the workplace, there is still a huge lack of understanding of deaf culture in modern businesses, and the quality of life of thousands of people with hearing loss is suffering as a result. In total, 56% of people who completed the survey said they have experienced some form of discrimination in the workplace due to being deaf or hard of hearing. This discrimination is most likely to come from colleagues, 62%, and managers, 53%. But 37% of people said they face discrimination as early as the job interview stage. Furthermore, while the majority of deaf job seekers, which is 74%, are confident they have the right skills and qualities to find good jobs, almost the same number, 72%, feel unsupported and full of frustration when it comes to looking for a job. Thank you.